Hey guys, Anime Corey 5 here. If I sound a little bit like not myself, it's because something is going on with me personally and I have no idea what it is. I've been feeling like in a mental state, I'm not even sure like what's going on with me. So if I don't sound like my normal self, that's why. Anyways, I was gonna make a let's play video, but that might happen actually later. I wanted to quickly cover this article because I think this is actually like one of the most important things to talk about within gaming. But it's not just in gaming; it's also everywhere else, whether it be like in anime or in movies or any other medium out there. Okay, minus politics, because politics doesn't really have something like that, except if it's relating about women. But other than that, yeah. So this talks about the whole sexual, the sexual innuendos within gaming, and it could also relate to anime. Now this is actually an organization known as Cypos. This is an article by them, and I think this is by I guess some guy named Eric. The article is called "Sexualized Video Games Are Not Causing Harm to Male or Female Gamers," according to a new research study. Now, now after I read through all of this, I actually found some very interesting parts and some data. Okay, now a lot of people think that that showing scantily clad women in video games is a no-no, and because it can lead to some really inappropriate things towards women, but in actuality it doesn't. Okay, seriously. Okay, now think about it this way. Okay, gaming is a male demographic type of medium. Okay, it's women make up about 45 to 50% of the medium in video games. Men make up 75% of the majority. Okay? Now, in past research studies, there wasn't really there was very little information and research done within, sexism in video games. But this new research has actually done a thorough investigative research, and I'll read some of the stuff to you. Let's see. Sexualization in video games does not appear to harm players. According to new research published in Computers and Human Behavior, the findings indicate that playing video games does not lead to misogynistic views or detrimental mental health outcomes. Female characters are often attractive and scantily clad in video games, although there appears to be a decline in this trend over time. Some people have raised concerns that the sexualized portrayal of women has negative effects on players, but research on the topic has proved mixed results. So yeah, there have been a little bit of mixed results when it comes to the whole sexualization within video games. Some say, it does no harm. Others say otherwise. But let's continue. Let's see. To better understand whether playing video games is associated with decreased player well-being or increased misogyny, the authors of the current research use a statistical technique known as a meta-analysis to systematically assess the results of previous research. I've been studying the effects of video games on players for 2 decades now, most of it on violence. I think most people have come to accept that there's no relationship between violent video games and aggression of violent crime, despite some holdouts, including the APA. The author explained, a professor of psychology of Stelson University, and this author was Christopher J. Ferguson. However, people still ask a lot of questions about sexualization and whether games either make male players more sexist towards women or whether women players experience more body dissatisfaction and other well-being concerns. It's a much smaller research field than the violent field, so we hope to bring some clarify to it. Now, for those who are unaware, her name was Frost. I forgot her first name. But essentially, she went by Frost, and this is relating to relates to G4 X-Play, where Frost went on a huge gigantic rant, and she wasn't really staying on topic, whatever the topic was. It was relating to, like, I think each of them were, like, supposed to share something about, like, their favorite games or something, but Frost decided to go on a rant and make a 5-minute clip, and G4 somehow praised it, even though that was completely false. And, of course, there was a lot of negative feedback relating to it. I'll show, well, actually, I can't actually play it because also due to copyright, but the clip, the whole point of the clip is essentially, women were not made to be made easy on the eyes. Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn did not, were not there to, to please the audience in some way, shape, or form. And that's actually not actually true, because, Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb were the two most beauties between X-Play and Attack of the Show. And, back then, for those that grew up in the early, early 1990s and the early 2000s, that was when X-Play was actually really good. And Attack of the Show was pretty good, because you had, Olivia Munn, Kevin Pereira, Morgan Webb, and Adam Sessler. And then one day, Adam Sessler said something completely... I think I know, he probably got in trouble because he said something completely outlandish and completely wrong on Twitter. And I think that's when, the suits decided to kick him out off of X-Play, because he completely, I don't know. But in any case, the whole sexualization in video games, I understand, sexism in any given trend is terrible, because I know, how men and women, men can sometimes be sexist towards women, but women can also do the same, depending on where and when it is. And sometimes, in video games, that's kind of what happens. And, that's just the way how society is. We can't control our actions, okay? Sometimes we do things and we say things that we never meant to say or do in the first place, but it happens, okay? Take PewDiePie, for example. PewDiePie, he's a really good YouTube creator. He is probably the number one. He's like a legend in the YouTube space. Seriously. Okay, before the whole entire mainstream media decided using YouTube, and everything. But yeah, it's, hey, I will say this much, men and women both love looking at women, boobs and booty. That's just the way how it is. Some women out there are bisexual. Some women love both men and women. Some women are lesbian. Some women are straight. It all just depends on the person. Okay, now if you don't like seeing sex, if you don't like seeing scantily clad women in video games, hey, you don't have to literally watch or play a game that has scantily clad women. Take Dead or Alive 5, for example. Okay. That game does have some scantily clad women, You can change you can customize, change some of the women's clothing to make them look sexy. Hey, and you know what? If that's not really your type of game, then don't play it. It's plain and simple. But yes, the whole entire thing, there's a reason, why I actually support, sexualization, is because, hey, I love looking at women. I love looking at women's boobs, and I love looking at women's booty. That's just the way how it is. That's what attracts men to women. Seriously. And, some women are into male booty. I don't know why, but that's just the way how it is. That's the way how it works. Okay? I understand that some of you guys probably come from a family where you were basically probably overprotected as a child, and your mother and your father probably shield you from looking at anything that could be absurd or inappropriate to the child's eyes and stuff like that. But hey, once you become an adult, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You don't have to listen to your parents all the time. Seriously. I mean, my mom thinks that, that for me, moving to another state is a terrible idea, but hey, it's my choice at the end of the day. I can decide about what I want to do. I mean, clearly, I'm currently paying, close to over $2,000 for an apartment that I currently am renting out, and I know my father's helping me with it, but at the same time, hey, I still like my apartment, and plus I like working at my job, even though it's really annoying, but I have some cool, awesome coworkers, and I bet some of them are kind of into that sort of thing. And sorry if I just went blank, because there's a whole bit of talking outside my apartment. Anyways, getting back to it. However, people still ask a lot of questions about sexualization and whether games either make male players more sexual towards women, or whether women players experience more body dissatisfaction and other well-being concerns. It's a much smaller research field. Oh yeah, okay, I just read that one. So we hope to clarify to everyone. For instance, and his research team conducted a meta-analysis of 18 relevant studies. All of the studies included a measure of exposure to general or sexualization within video games. 15 of these studies measured aggression towards women or sexual attitudes, while 10 studies measured outcomes related to depression, body image, or anxiety. But the research failed to find a statistically significant link between video games and other sexual attitudes or psychological well-being. Now, overall, honestly, Paramount has basically pretty much said that they're not going to censor their stuff. And you know what? Hey, I'm totally in support for Paramount to not censor their shit. Literally, If you look at Sonic 2, Sonic 2 was a really good movie. It was really good movie, and it outperformed the first one. I mean, hell, it probably it outperformed Lightyear, which kind of did poorly because Tim Allen, who usually voices Buzz Lightyear, was not really in it. So there's that. And Nintendo has also said that they're not really in cahoots with when it comes to censorship. Now, Sony and Microsoft, on the other hand, don't see it that way. They want to keep things, they're all censor happy. They want things to be, they want to just please the small majority of players. But I honestly think that, showing people uncensored stuff is fine. Honestly, it's not damaging to the adults, because mainly it's the adults that play video games. I mean, some children, most children play, first-person shooters. Most of them do. I haven't seen one that literally, actually plays, any games that features nudity. A lot of them play, games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, what's the other one? Maybe, GTA 5, even though, yes, there is some nudity in GTA 5, but then again, some kids don't care about that shit. I mean, they're fine with with seeing a little bit of nudity. It's not gonna damage their eyes. Seriously. And parents need to be parents. If you don't want your kid to be looking at some adultery type of content, here's the thing that parents can do. They can actually, put parental controls in place to basically barred their children from seeing anything that may be unpleasant to their eyes, because the kids grow up eventually. Let's say that your kid is a 5-year-old. Okay, he's a 5-year-old. Okay, and it's probably not a good idea to show a 5-year-old some naughty bits, because their brains are still developing, and eventually over time, once they turn about 15 or 16, that's when that little thing will just pop into their brains that basically says, okay, I think it's now time to look at some naughty bits. I mean, hell, that's the way how it is in high school. Like, literally in high school, a lot of men talk about about having sex with women. That's what they want. That's basically how it is. You can't control that. I'm sorry. That's part of growing up. Like, honestly, because once you reach the age of high school, that's when your kids start they start devoting their time to what they want to do in the future. Some are looking into going to college. Some may just want to find a good job that they like, and some just want an actual career that makes them good, money. So there you go. But yeah, parents need to not be so overprotective of their children. Parents need to let kids decide about what it is that they want to do for themselves. And you know what? Sometimes, when you have a kid, at a certain age, like maybe like at the age of maybe like 10 or 12, that's when, you can trust your kid to not do anything dangerous. Well, inside of a home, while you're out with your wife, doing something, whether it be like going out to eat or meeting some people or going to a movie. I mean, hell, that's the way how it was for me. Like, growing up, I, as a, when I was like about maybe like 12 or 13, I was granted that permission. I got to, stay home by myself and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, and sometimes, as a kid, I also had a babysitter. And so let's say that, you and your wife decide to go out, but you're afraid to leave your child at home. Hire a babysitter to watch over your child for a couple weeks. And there you go. Problem fucking solved. Okay? So, yeah. But yeah, that's the whole thing, and honestly, I still believe that this whole censorship thing needs to stop, okay? It's not really benefiting any company whatsoever, okay? And some games, like Fire Emblem, was it the Three Hopes? Yeah, sure, that game doesn't feature any nudity, but it is what it is. Some people like that. I've tried getting into Fire Emblem. It's not really my cup of tea. Okay, so I don't have to buy the game if I don't want to play it. But the one thing is that, just because you don't like something doesn't mean you should tell the other person not to buy it. Okay? So if your child decides, let's say, you walk to a store, you're buying a particular game that you like, and you see another person in front of you that's buying something that you find gross and disgusting. Well, he is allowed to buy it. He's allowed to play it. And just because you don't like it doesn't necessarily mean he should. If you don't like a particular game, don't buy it. Plain and simple. Okay? So, yeah, there you go. I've said my piece about that. I'll leave the link in the whole entire thing, and it's by scipost.org, so you can actually kind of trust what the article is saying. There is some data in it. Most of it's good data, and it kind of explains a little bit of it. Now, it does say it is like, there are some mixed results within it, but most of it is basically saying as, sexualization is not really causing harm to men and women, and most men and women players actually enjoy looking at that stuff. Just because you don't like it doesn't necessarily mean the other person shouldn't look at it. It's fine. It's whatever. And here's the other thing, okay? I will also leave you with this, okay? G4, they after what happened after Frost went on a rant and actually said horrible things, G4 themselves lost a lot of subscribers. and they basically, like, they suffered, they have like massive layoffs. Some employees left, and they really shouldn't be part of it. And the olden days of G4 were really good when they have Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb, but now they don't. Okay. I did like Candace Bailey at the time. I did like Blair Herter at one point because he was really cool. And now that he's like president, he's just like basically a jerk. He decides that, oh yeah, no, you know what, that this is not right. And it's like, dude, people come to YouTube because they want to escape the whole thing with politics and everything, okay? Seriously. Let people enjoy what they want to enjoy, okay? Stop putting your whole political beliefs into everything, okay? And you're not a bigot or a misogynist if you actually like a particular game, okay? Just because you don't like a particular game doesn't necessarily mean the other person who is an actual gamer likes the game, okay? Everybody has different tastes for something, okay? I have a taste for a lot of JRPG and some adult type of anime, you know? I love lollies. I love adult anime women. That's cool. And also too, they have great boobs. But I also love real women, and they also have great boobs as well. I mean, and it's okay to look at women's boobs and also look at their ass, because hey, that's what women are there for. But the thing is, if you ever decide to get into a relationship with one, just be sure that that you didn't actually like ended up in a relationship because of her boobs and her booty, okay? Because women do not like that, okay? Let's just be real here. Women mostly in general don't like that. Women, you go after a woman because of her personality and her looks, okay? That's the reason, like, and also too because of what you two would have in common. Okay, that's just the way how relationships work. But that's just what I'm gonna say. But yeah, don't go full retard. Okay, never go full retard. That is a message from one of the characters from Tropic Thunder. Okay, never go full retard. Okay, and never go after someone who has a different taste than you, and don't ever tell them that they can't buy a game just because you don't like it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. There you go. Alright? If you loved everything that you heard, definitely give this video a like, comment down below, share, and comment, and of course, subscribe and click the bell icon if you want to stay up to date with more content and stuff like that. I will work on trying to get a Let's Play up as soon as I can. Hopefully I'll feel better within a couple hours. So there you go. All right. With that, I will end things off here. You guys can follow me. You guys are also welcome to join my Discord server. Link is in the description and stuff like that. All right. With that, I will end things off here. This is Anime Core 5, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.